welcome to another video. In today's video, this is the 2024 harvest. Look at everything I've got to grow this year. Okay, here we are. It's the 3rd of September. And it's like an onion is coming up there, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an onion. Because I just left them in there. Oregano's doing good. I harvested a bunch. So I replanted carrots, and then it got hot. And I'm pretty sure I lost a bunch of carrots because I think there was more carrots sprouted here than there are now. So it got hot after I planted and they started to come up, and probably what I didn't do is come out here and water them. Another time in the night would have been probably. So yeah, carrots are pretty tough, and I'm pretty sure this is a garlic. So I'm getting like another season out of the garlic. So every single one of those that's like not green is all non-viable seeds. There's no seeds in any one of those. Look how few seeds out of all that are actually going to be good. And I'm just letting them go until they're done. I don't know when they're going to be done, but that's what's going to fill this bed. This is going to just be onions. So now let's go over here to the fertilizer, because there's some big stuff going on. Sugar. Yes, bleached white sugar. I had it because I bought too much to kill the ants in the borax method. So I just had tons, like right there. See? It's like enough to do a lot. So I was watching somebody and they're like putting sugar or honey or whatever they were putting in their tea. So I put it in there. I put one of those already, and it cracked off. It really did. Like, it really liked that sugar. It was all that sludge. That's all just from like the last hour, 2 hours ago or something like that. I kind of keep it pushed down like this. I'm trying to, so that's some stalks in there from last year's stalks. So I'm like, thinking about the long term, I need to break the stalks down because they are full of nutrients that, whatever that builds, it likes. So whatever's in those stalks, now these are dried out. Right? And I didn't chip them up or anything. Now the concept is to chip up the green stuff. But why I put this stuff in there full is because whatever is going to actually start to break down this stuff, to break down the stalks, like something will evolve in this bucket that will eventually eat the stalks. Like, I got some of these little stalks like this, but these they get eaten up and disappear. These are relatively new, right? Or like a couple weeks or something like that. So it's just all in developing whatever is needed to break down this material back into, that'll become water soluble. So these nutrients right here will be made up of this at some point. That will break down and become this pile. Because when I'm feeding for fertilizer, I don't stir this or anything. I just dip right out of there, right? And then I'll stir it maybe, once a week, once every couple weeks. But now that I added this, I'm pushing this down a few times a day, just to try to get it to go down to the bottom, because that's where it's really gonna like decompose the best. Maybe not though. It might be sitting on the top. It might decompose. I'm not sure. I know wood gets like preserved underwater, but I don't know if this is with the air levels and all the stuff that's going on in here. Like, I honestly just don't even know. So, but what I do know is eventually that'll break down. And taking it once it's green, like not waiting for it to dry out and be like over a year old, right? So then just chipping that right back in here, that'll break down so much faster. So much faster. So yeah, that's really nice. All right, let's go look at this one here. This is the Oregon Diesel. It's been budding for, it's like 7-8 weeks now. I have no idea how that budded early. I guess it's maybe an autoflower or something like that. But honestly, the buds look really bad until now. Now they're looking great, but they really, like the first 5 weeks, like, it just all looked horrible, you know? But I don't know, and now it looks great. But the rest of these, they look pretty good right from the start, which is interesting. Maybe it just, because once all these started budding, that started looking really good. So maybe the light still is having an effect, because now that it's getting the right light, that it's budding and making really nice buds. So I don't do anything for bugs. My concept is that there's bugs that eat bugs, and if you spray, you'll drive off all the bugs. Now, typically, the bugs that eat the plants outnumber the bugs that eat the bugs. So I do need to buy some ladybugs, but they don't last long out here. They just kind of go and take off. See, this thing is budding so much faster. Like, this has only been budding for like, not even 2 weeks, I want to say. And it's just, see, and that's just the amazing difference between the strains, right? You got stuff that, you know, looks like heck for weeks, and all of a sudden starts to look good. Stuff that's just buds really, really fast. It was bud really, really slow. So here's a bug. If you can see that bug right in there. That bug's kind of an ornery little bug. It might be a bug that eats bugs. At one time I was staring at it, and it just was like, flew right into my glasses. Pretty funny. I see it, not a bunch of them, so I don't know what they're doing. But honestly, the only really bad bugs that I see, and I haven't seen them yet this year, they're always late. It's aphids. They come in late. That's why I need to get some ladybugs. So you can buy ladybugs like once a week for like a month, and they'll pretty much. This is the Applejack. It's just taking off. I don't remember what the name of that one is, but it's coming on slower, which is good because it's catching up. It's had the whole like light thing. The mice killed dozens of mice. It was just an apocalypse, but yeah, they're pretty much done now. I haven't killed one in a few days. I mean, they got so used to these buckets. These buckets work great until you get just so many mice that they figure out the buckets, and somehow they warn each other, and the buckets just stop working. So that's when I had to bust out the little freaking wherever those things are. That did it. All right, this is the 3rd of September, and we're looking real good. Oh, see, there's another one of those bugs that I'm not sure about. I think I might be looking for bugs to eat. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if I sprayed this plant, and I'm right, and that bug is like eating other bugs. And then I see little spiders on here too. Like every plant has one little white spider that doesn't really make webs. It just hangs out and, I mean, just like jumps bugs, I guess. So, yeah, I don't like the idea of spraying. I was out here the other night and there was all these gnat-like things. Totally freaking like a little, it was just nuts. I stood out here for like 30 minutes or so with my leaf blower. Just kept blowing them away, blowing them away, blowing them away. I probably look like a crazy person to anybody who would just be looking at me, because then they'd fly and tack me in the face and I'd be trying to blow the gnats off my freaking head and trying to blow them off here and trying to blow them off there. I mean, they were nuts, but I don't see any now. So that's what we try to avoid, because I don't know how those things work, but I was worried that they're getting ready to lay some eggs or something, you know, and that's the last thing you want. You don't want some creepy bugs laying eggs in your damn buds. But yeah, this Oregon diesel. So I got this is amazing hermaphrodite seed, I guess. I mean, that's my only guess is a hermaphrodite seed. But when I got that seed, I had let the plants, the strain it was, they went for 14 weeks. You can see that here in my gray water ganja video. Totally grew a whole crop just in the gray water. And then cured it for a year. Now I got some seriously crazy rosin out of it. No idea what kind of mushroom that is, but it's a healthy looking mushroom. That's where that goes. Not a single green anything left in this entire bed. Not a weed, not a blade of grass. The garlic is the only thing. And what I think the culprit is that thing right there. And his buddy I squished over there. And his other buddy who got away. But yeah, there's literally nothing in that bed growing anymore. Nothing at all. Not even a little teeny speck of green. I got some moss growing over there, some mushrooms growing over there. Of course, the onion that's been there for months. Probably the garlic that's coming in, you know, there's garlic, or excuse me, there's onions coming in here, oregano, but all the carrots gone. So that was the end of the carrot seeds, and that's definitely the end of my desire to try to grow carrots. The only reason I put these beds together is to grow those carrots. That's the funny thing. They've evolved into garlic and onions and oregano because it just doesn't, nothing seems to eat it, right? What are you gonna do? So, yeah, the oregano's looking all right. And I already have harvested a fair amount. It's the 5th or 6th or something like that. Absolutely just pouring down ash. Had a little, this onion's tripping because it was too buried. So it's absolutely tripping now. I don't know what'll happen. And looks like maybe got some more mushrooms happening there. Now all the onions seem to be kicking back. I guess that's why you're supposed to pluck them. Oh, you can see the ash. That's what I wanted to come out and see. I think I'm literally gonna bring the leaf blower out here and blow off all the ash. Yeah, I'm totally gonna. It's pretty bad. So are the bugs. I think all this ash seems to be making the bugs happy. God, this one's just going so fast. Oh, the ash. Look at all the ash. Is it done raining ash? Seems to be. It was so nice. It got so bad so fast. After last year pruning everything for flower rosin, which flower rosin is pretty much the most pruning there is, and just endless pruning, that's it. I'm done. The pruning is done. That's why I built the bubble hatch machine. The link will be in the description. But yeah, like the amount of work that I got to do right now is so much less now. September 12th. We had crazy rain for like 16 hours or something. Just real hardcore rain. Had more broken branches falling down. Oh, there's another broken branch. There, it's an epidemic of broken branches. This one's having real problems. That one's having real problems. That one had a problem. Next year, I have to do something seriously different to make sure this doesn't happen, because it seems like it really doesn't affect it, but it's not. It can't be good. So, all right. So the order of the day is this Oregon diesel. Now, a lot of people, they probably would have cropped before it rained, but we've had insane smoke, which it appears as though we do have some smoke in the air again. You can kind of see the haziness on the mountains over there. So yeah, we still have smoke. So, but my thought process was that these things have been freaking surrounded in smoke for weeks. So a good rain. And what is smoke? Smoke is potash. Potash is potassium. So once all that potassium all over those buds got all nice and wet, it probably pulled it in and utilized it to a certain extent. The little spider bug on there. So what I like to do is I like to take off everything that looks good and leave everything that doesn't for a couple more weeks and come back and take it all. So everything, I'll take this, 2 more weeks I'll be done, and I'll be able to process it. I think this will be the next one done, and I'll do the same thing. I'll just take everything nice, leave it 2 weeks. I have done that and gotten 3 crops off plants, but I'm not going to push it this year because I want to run the batches. Now, once I have enough to run a batch, that's kind of a moot point. I don't know if I'm going to get enough for a whole batch out of this today, but if I do, I guess I'll have to do a run, but I don't think I'm going to. So I'll just wait till I harvest everything. Then I'll just take everything from that entire plant, do a run. This plant will probably be more than run. This plant will probably be more than run. Look, there's these branches that like came off this big main branch here. We have another one coming off here. This thing broke. And it's like in the tomato cage. Tomato cages aren't really doing much. I need a whole nother layer of something like that big 6-inch fence up on some fence stakes or something. See, I don't know if you can tell, this plant has a fertilizer issue right here, and that is, I think, I lost track of where the actual tip of the plant was, but this might be the tip of the plant. So I threw some more nitrogen in there. That might be a little nitrogen deficiency. So it's been like that for a few days. Hopefully it'll be no problems because tomorrow's fertilizing and then hopefully we'll be okay. But last year I lost entire plants at this point. Like the 2 that were back there. It rained like this and the plant that was over there just completely died the next day. And then that one slowly died. I ended up getting 1 branch. They were garlic breath. They were huge. They were bigger than these. And I ended up getting 1 branch. I got a ½ pound off 1 branch. I lost dozens of branches, so it would have been pounds and pounds. And garlic breath's some pretty good stuff. All right, there it is. I'll leave that for 2 more weeks. Get out here with my loupe and look and see if these trichomes are balled up yet, but that's when I decide to harvest. That's probably, I don't know, ½ pound of dried flour maybe. There's a bunch of fertilizer. Okay, sorry about the wind. This is the last day of summer, or maybe tomorrow's the last day of summer. It's 20th of September. I think it's a week, and everything since I did the original cropping, I'm pretty sure it's been a week, or it's a little longer than a week, I think, a day or 2. So everything, almost everything looks really good that is at a tip stage. So I was going to leave it 2 weeks and then take everything, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another batch today and then leave it another week. So that's what I'm doing today, but today is also fertilizing day, and so I have to do the new fertilizer method, which is the branch broke off. It's just sitting there. Must be funny. Is to take out the fertilizer, put it into the bucket, pH it, dilute it a little bit, and then fertilize, because trying to pH that bucket has just become too much of a nightmare. And it rained on my sugar was just sitting there, and it rained and the pack got wet and it leaked sugar, and now this is just fly central. So unfortunately, now this was starting to go. I thought this was the tip, but this might be the tip, the head, the top, excuse me. I don't cut them off, I just pull them over. Some, I didn't pull that one over. So these leaves are starting to go yellow, starting to look not good, right? And so I'm altered the fertilizer a little bit, and or I just added more nitrogen fertilizer, and now they come back into purple, which is pretty okay. I think it's okay. I don't think I'm gonna have any problems like I had last year, like the whole plant just dying. So that's what happens if you just stop giving it nitrogen, it'll just die. So lesson learned. But this, I don't know if there's anything to do with the size of the plant and the quality, because these big ones here, this is Apple Jacks, and this is Oreos, and they're both just killer. I mean, just like, even these leaves have freaking crystals on them. They're so crystally. So like trimming this stuff, like I need to, like, typically if I could get at a stem, I'd pick it off. But I mean, even this one with the stem that's that big has got crystals on the leaves. I mean, this stuff is just killer. And this one is huge, and that one is huge, and they're both about the same doneness. So when this stuff starts to come done, I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue with the room. Like, my freezer's almost full. I mean, I've got about that much room left in buckets. About that much room left in buckets, and then I could put in bags and stuff it around the edges and stuff. All right, it's a whole day later. It was a really long day yesterday. Putting the fertilizer and pruning and cropping was just a lot to do in one day. And get anything else done, but these things plumps up pretty fast. But that's third crop now. So obviously this is on its third. It's been cropped twice. So now, if I did that to all this stuff, which is what I've been thinking about lately, this is the next one that's going to be harvested. And that one is not too far after it. Of course, the two biggest ones are like pretty much just so close. I mean, this one's just, a couple days behind this one. And it might catch up and pass it. I don't know. Plants do weird things. So, hypothetically, if I was to do to this and that, what I did to this, then I'm going to run into a bottleneck in my freezer, because I'll have a bunch of this waiting and a bunch of that waiting for 2 weeks. And I would be basically, I mean, like, if these are like a week apart, I mean, the freezer is going to fill up. So what I've decided to do is, because it's odd that the little ones are all behind and the big ones are ahead. I don't know if why it just worked out that way. But the plan is I pretty much have to take that whole thing down when it's ready, in its entirety, not leave anything like this at all, because that'll fill up my freezer. And then I'll have 1 week to do the exact same thing with this, okay? And then that will fill up my freezer. So I have to freaking harvest this and process it before I can harvest that and process it. And then these are going to be like, like right behind this one. Now I might be able to get away with multi-harvesting these little ones because there's drastically less there to harvest. So I'll have the room. But I have to cross that bridge when I come to it. Because originally I was going to do this method to everything. But with the bubble hash process, I want to just run the whole plant. And that'll be a run, you know. Maybe on these little plants I might be able to like run one and then run the other one. But I don't want to like do 2 runs to complete one plant, right? Like this is going to be my first run, and it's going to be in a week or so, a week and a couple days, I think, because it's going to be about a week when I harvest it, and then I'll be done with this. It'll be all harvested, and I'll be ready to process it. So, and then I think these are probably about 3 weeks away. I mean, it is just insanely good stuff here. I mean, it's, if you see the crystals, typically like these leaves here that have like a little, they have a stem, right? So typically if it has a stem, you wouldn't really get much crystal growth on there, but look at that. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but that has crystal growth. That's crazy. So this is going to take a lot less pruning because I'm just going to leave these, right? And I'm not even going to bother to prune that off because it really doesn't matter. I don't think it matters at all. Very annoying day. 2 days of wicked wind that are just beating the fucking shit out of my stuff. Breaking branches off. Whole branch of AJ got knocked off. Whole branch of Oreos got knocked off. That thing looks like it's just being beat to living death. I mean, everything is just getting beat to death. The wind is just freaking annoying. So I got this cable here, trying to keep all that from just beating and beating and beating against that, which is what it was doing before I got out here. And branches breaking, lost branches off that. I mean, this thing, there's a broken branch right now. There is a broken branch right now. Okay, level of annoyance is off the charts right now. Losing shit because of the wind. Yeah, I had like a concept of putting down a thing, but really, that really wouldn't have helped. I have to redo everything if I'm going to do this again next year, to where I can put solid things around these to just keep them from doing this, because this is just, well, it's annoying. It's super annoying to put this much money and work into something, just have the wind come and just trash it. All right, there's what the freezer looks like currently. So these are full of Oregon diesel. That is Sunday. Today is Wednesday, so I'm processing that Sunday. So now I have a little bit of AJ in here already and a little bit of Oreos in here. Not ideal. It's better than throwing it away. September 28th. We actually have some freezing weather. 2 nights. It's supposed to be 33. So if it's 33 wherever, it's typically colder here. That happened last year. And I just threw my little blanket things over the top and didn't seem to affect anything super bad. But it was only once. It actually happened in the spring about 3 or 4 times, but in the fall it happened like once. So here's my onion seeds looks like they're getting to be viable, about ready to start dropping. I gotta catch them. There should be enough seeds to have a whole bed full of onions in the spring. That'll be super cool. Maybe a few over here. These are really taking off. one that kind of curled itself and then just kind of gave up. Yeah, the wind is just... And now I realize what I should do, and hopefully I'll remember. See, I want to change this whole thing around next year. This bed here, it goes around all the way over to here and then back over there quite a bit, like about 30 feet that way. It goes in here. It's kind of a giant teardrop shape. So moving the fence, like this fence, out to there, and putting the fence down in the ground, that's what the trench is for. So the critters can't get through, because the mice are just... The mice have been back on the chew. I don't know if you can see all that chewing they've been doing on that one. And they've been doing a bunch of chewing on this one. And I caught a mouse, or killed a mouse last night. So, yeah, they're just going to town. Between the wind and the mice. And they're chewing on that one too. You can see that. Nice little mushroom growth there. See that mushroom? And I gotta get more mouse traps because I'm such a weirdo. I throw them away. I don't reuse them. I hold them with the thing. Yeah, the tips that got beat up just don't look like that one's so bad. Almost all these got just beat to living daylights. How bad that one is. It's all... So what they're supposed to look like, I think, is this. So that's what it should look like. That's what it should look like. But then, that one's not super bad. That one's super bad. Yeah, I should have trellised. Should have just put a trellis over there and then brought it over here, and then, I don't know, I should have just done some MacGyver shit so I wouldn't have had to have all these beat up so bad. Yeah, this stuff's really looking nice too. Everything looks great now. It's all hit that point where it's just going nuts. This stuff is pretty good. This is the Excelsior, I think is the name of this one. I think that's Papaya Punch. That's Oreos. That's Oregon Diesel. Oregon Diesel Autoflower. That's an autoflower from a hermaphrodite seed that I got one seed and it was viable. Amazing. And this is Divine Storm. And that's Apple Jacks. And it's got some serious like branches that are just basically pointing down now. I mean, if it doesn't wilt, then you know, but this branch is so broken that I don't even want to touch it. And I did do some mitigation in here to try to get them a little separated because we have some cool weather coming, and the cool weather might cause issues if they were really clumped. So I pulled them apart a little bit because the wind just completely, I mean, pretty obvious. So it's the final day on this. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. The weather's getting to be mighty cool tomorrow. So right about dark, I'll be running the processing, and that video might actually come out before this video. It's actually going to be quite a bit. I'm going to take that in, put it in the freezer now, so I can just not be out here in the sun. I got that much left. And yeah, this could have gone probably another couple weeks. I could have taken the top and then done that once a week, and still it works really good, especially on these autoflowers that finish so soon. you just have all the time in the world. I budded these when I grew them 2 years ago for 14 weeks total. So this one's been budding since mid-July, which is like the end of September, so like 10 weeks or something like that. All right, like, subscribe.